This sermon is called The Right Way. Let me ask y'all something. Have you ever been trying to get somewhere? You put the address in your GPS and it gives you like 3 different routes. One says fastest, one says no tolls, and then one says avoid highways. And you're sitting there like, okay, but which one is actually the right way? Because at the end of the day, I don't want options. I just want to get to the destination. Well, I think a lot of people treat faith the same way. We live in a world that says all religions are valid, all paths lead to God, just be a good person. And so now it feels like we have options, but we don't have any clarity. So here's the question I want to wrestle with today. Or here's some questions I would like to wrestle with today. What if there isn't multiple ways? What if there is a right way? Jesus says something that honestly makes people uncomfortable. In John 14:6, he says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Now, let's be real. That's not a flexible statement. That's not one of many options. That's a claim. And I know what some people think when they hear that. That sounds narrow. That sounds exclusive. That sounds judgmental. But can I flip it for a second? Truth by nature is exclusive. If 2 plus 2 equals 4, it can't also equal 5 just because someone believes it does. So the issue isn't, is Christianity too exclusive? The issue is it true? Peter stood in a culture full of different beliefs and said in Acts 4:12, there is salvation in no one else. There was no sugarcoating, no softening, because truth isn't unloving. Truth is what saves. But Paul did something different. When he spoke to people who believed differently, he didn't attack them. He said, I see you're searching. In Acts 17:22-23, he meets them where they are. And then he points them to Jesus. So here's what makes Jesus different. Every other system says, work your way up to God. Be better. Do better. Fix yourself. But the Bible says you can't fix yourself. In Romans 3:23, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So the problem isn't which religion is best. The problem is, how do I fix what's broken in me? And this is where Jesus stands alone. He didn't just teach. He stepped in. He took the punishment. He died and he rose again, according to 1 Corinthians 15:3-4. So now let me say it like this. Jesus isn't the right way because Christians say so. He's the right way because he did what no one else could do. And if that's true, then he's not just a way. He's the only way. Even thinkers like C.S. Lewis said, Jesus doesn't leave us the option to just call him a good teacher. And then we have scholars like William Lane Craig who point to the resurrection as real historical evidence. So, I'll leave you with this. In a world full of options, What if you don't need any more options? What if you need the right way? And what if that way is a person? Jesus didn't come to give you directions. He came to be the way. Thank you for listening.